I renamed one of my cats yesterday.
What's its new name?
Well, he has a new last name. It's like when you become royalty and you take on the house of the whatever. But so King Jeffrey is now King Jeffrey Horchata. I'm going to make grandma style pizza dough so that we can make a grandma pie with soppressata and chilies on it. So a grandma pie is kind of like a Neapolitan, but it's not a Neapolitan, but you do make it in a big rectangular rimmed baking sheet. It's got a really crispy olive oily like focaccia crust, and then all the toppings on top. I highly recommend this for a party. This dough is super easy. Time and temperature do all the work. This is dry active yeast. It's gonna go right into the bowl of my stand mixer, along with this amount of warm water. I mean, it's clearly marked on the measuring cup as 1 3/4. I just wanted to add a little like mystery and intrigue to it. So you want this water to be very warm, but not hot. Not hot enough to take a bath in, but not tepid either. And then before we can do anything else, you have to dissolve the yeast into the water. So I'm just gonna give it a stir. If after 10 minutes, there are no bubbles and this is not foamy, that probably means your yeast is dead. So you might need to run down to the corner and get another package of yeast, or it means that your water was too hot. It already looks a little foamy, so I'm feeling very good about my yeast, and that's just gonna sit for 10 minutes. Here's a great thing to do while you're waiting for your yeast to get foamy. Make the raw tomato sauce. It's a 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes. We're really big into the Bianco Napoli tomatoes. Andy tried like 18 different brands, right?
Yeah,
and then he got a hole in his stomach because it was so acidic. Oh my God. But a whole peeled San Marzano or San Marzano style tomato is what you want here. Don't get mad, but there are 2 anchovy fillets. If you don't care for anchovy fillets, guess what? Leave them out. But they do add a little salty something that you might miss. 2 garlic cloves, extra virgin olive oil, and a 1/4 cup of fresh basil leaves. Looks really pretty in there. Looks like a pizza pie already. The reason the recipe says to pulse is that if you just straight up process, you're gonna whip a lot of air into the tomato and it makes it like all foamy and light. You just don't want that. You're just pulsing to combine. I'm a big fan of the long pulse. Tastes good already. No, really, if you start with a good canned tomato, this should already taste good. Sauce is done, uncooked. It'll cook in the oven. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I've got some bubbles on the top of my yeast. I'm feeling confident about that whole situation. I am going to add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and some salt and just get this started. I'm gonna add all-purpose flour. So as soon as it looks like this flour has been incorporated into the wet ingredients, I'll go ahead and add the other half and then continue mixing in the stand mixer. It's gonna be a sticky dough, but it's going to be elastic and it's gonna smooth out a lot. If you wanted to do this all by hand, you could. Just a little bit more effort on your part, and instead of it taking maybe 3 to 5 minutes in here, you're gonna be looking at like 8 to 10 minutes of kneading on the surface. It's been about 5 or 6 minutes. I increased the speed, so we're at like a true medium. The things that I'm looking for to tell that we're close to being done is it looks really elastic. It looks still a little bit sticky. It's not dry. So over here I have a large bowl that I just coated with oil. Very stretchy. From one bowl to another. A dough's story told. So you don't need to knead it. You don't need to put oil on top of it. You do need to cover the bowl. This is now going to go into the fridge for 24 hours. 24 hours later, this is what your dough is going to look like. Why pretend? We did this yesterday. Obviously, we were planning. Good amount of oil onto this rim baking sheet. This is ultimately going to end up being the baking sheet that we make the whole pizza on. And this oil is going to be a really important part of the cooking medium. one thing that we all really love about grandma pies around here is that you get this like very kind of crunchy, crackly bottom crust. And having this amount of olive oil on the sheet tray is a big part of that. Look at what's happening while we were talking. A giant buble. Oh my gosh. Easy peasy, not so sticky anymore. 24 hours, it's very cold. It's a little too cold to stretch. So the next step is going to be getting the dough out to all the corners and the walls of the baking sheet. And if I try to do that while it's freezing cold, we're just going to be in a fight. And I don't want to be in a fight with my dough. I want to be in like a very happy, mutually beneficial relationship. Okay, so this is a dough that hung out for 10 minutes. Time to stretch. And this should be like pretty fun. If at any point the dough does start to snap back, just let it hang out for a few minutes to relax the gluten and then stretch again. But I really do want it in all of the corners. I'm very pleased with what's happening on the sides. I'm less pleased about what's happening in my corners. I'm gonna just calmly stand here. It's like a timeout for the dough, you know? You just need to take a timeout. We're having a corner conversation. It's telepathic. Dough, like you are going to have to go to the corner. You do know that, right? And the dough's like,
I do, but I just don't want to be forced.
I'm like, I get that. You just want to do it on your own. Dough's like,
yeah, I do.
Oh yeah. Very pleased with that maneuver. Oh, look, we did it, guys. Corners. Oh, now I just want to play around. Okay, so I'm going to cover the whole kit and caboodle. And then this is going to sit at like warm room temperature until it's slightly puffed again. So that should take about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to put it near the stove, but not on top of the stove. All right, let's check on the dough that's been having its second rise. That's like when you take a nap on the weekend and then you get up and it's your second rise. That's how it feels for this dough. The dough itself just feels like incredibly soft now, really relaxed. Now, when it comes to toppings, whatever you like is great. We developed a bunch of different options when we came up with the recipe for this pie. Really just do what you like. Don't put pineapple on it. That is horrible. Only a monster would do that. So the first thing that goes down is the cheese. Do use fresh mozzarella cheese. A low moisture mozzarella is just going to get like a little bit rubbery and a little bit stretchy. So look for a fresh mozzarella. And this is 12 ounces. And that's going to go pretty much, you know, leaving part of the edge of the dough to be a plain crust. I'm going all the way wall to wall. We need about a cup of sauce. And this I don't want everywhere. I'm just going to sort of dot it around. The sauce will spread out too. And so we went for sort of a soppressata chili situation. So I've got 2 ounces each of hot and sweet soppressata. You could do some like crumbled, half-cooked sausages. Onions would be terrific. Don't do bell peppers. They're disgusting. All right, so that's that. Seems like a lot. I'm just going to go for it. Love salami. And then a little chili action. That looks good. Pecorino or parm would be a good sprinkle. We happen to have parm, and you could save some to put on after if you want to. This smells great. And then even though it seems like there's a lot of olive oil, we got to olive oil up our toppings. Just a little bit. Soppressata chili pie going in. Good pizza vibes. Think good pizza thoughts. Oh my God, it looks amazing. Wow. That's my least favorite thing that I do in videos. I say, wow. While I was in the oven, I did a little reading on the grandma pie, and it turns out it's from Long Island, Strong Island. So great when there's another regional treasure that you didn't even know about. Okay, where are my pizza people at?
I'm not here.
Oh my God.
Jeez Louise, been waiting hours for this thing. So what do we have here?
We have a classic grandma pie going straight in. Oh wow, it's so crunchy. It's almost
crunchy.
illegal.
Yeah, that's so perfect. Oh yeah.
I'm very pleased with this
I'm very pleased too.
situation.
For you?
Oh, thank you.
So also, it
Thank
is
you.
a origin story. Strong Island.
I'm sorry?
See what happened with the olive oil? And you get that really nice amount of color and the crisping and the crunching. It's pretty good. Right?
Hey.
If you bite it, it's so hot.
Oh, I feel like I don't have feeling in my mouth.
Neither of you guys do? Okay.
Just
I'm gonna wait.
That is delicious.
Oh my god.
delicious.
So delicious.
Why am I not making this more often?
Delicious, Carla.
All right, call your grandmas. I just want to say shout out to all the grandmas on Long Island who made this video possible. We're really very thankful to you and your pie. I'm actually going to a party later, and I'm tempted to like bring that half a pie with me.
Do you have a plus one?
Plus pizza.